Ms. Lohman, you are in court today hoping and praying your fiancé, Mr. Mitchell, is the biological father of your daughter, London, and you and your mother are here to prove it. You say today's DNA results will determine the future of your family together. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Mitchell, you say nothing would make you happier than finding out you are London's biological father. But you are in court today believing there is no way you are. You say if the DNA results prove you are not the father, next month's wedding is off. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you're joined by your cousin who fears you're being taken advantage of by the plaintiff. So, Ms. Lohman, today's results will determine the future of your family. Explain.
Your Honor, when me and Jonathan got together, I was very happy. We got engaged January of last year, and if London is not to become of Mr. Mitchell, then our wedding is going to be off, and that's going to, it's really going to upset me.
All right, and how is it affecting your relationship now?
Me and Mr. Mitchell, we fight all the time about, me telling Mr. Mitchell that London is his, and he will tell me, no, I don't think she is.
But you've
Everything
also told him
points
that
to her.
she's not, so...
No, I have never actually told Jonathan that he was not. I told him there was a possibility that he might not be, but I have never for sure told him he hasn't been.
So talk to me about the nature of your relationship.
We met when we were sophomores in high school. Junior year, we had a lot of classes together, so we became really good friends. And, he started opening up to me and telling me, about his home life. He came from a very, very hard, difficult, terrible background, and I wanted to help him and save him from that. So I went home and I spoke to my mother and my dad about it, and I was like, can we do something about it? They were like, yeah, we'll help him. So he ended up coming to live with us, and I was really happy when he got away from that.
And so your relationship started while he was living with you and your family?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you single at that time?
No, Your Honor, I had a boyfriend at the time.
He moves in, and then what happens?
After about 2 months of him living with me and my family, we were sitting on the couch one day just talking, and he kissed me. And I told him, I have a boyfriend, we can't do this. And he just kind of shrugged it off and said, okay.
Okay, so at that point, Mr. Mitchell was just your friend?
Yes, Your Honor. About a week after that, we were in the pool, and we were swimming under the water, and he kissed me under the water, and I came up. And I didn't stop it. I let it continue, and we ended up having sex.
All right. And so, Mr. Mitchell, do you remember when your feelings for Ms. Lohman changed from friends to more?
Yes, Your Honor.
So tell me about what you came to love about Ms. Lohman.
I loved how she did stuff. I liked how she cared for me whenever I didn't have anybody that cared for me.
And she said you had a very tough childhood. Is that true, honey?
Yes, ma'am. I was abused. Had to do everything for my family. I raised my 3 sisters and my brother basically by myself. It was hard.
I understand. So when you moved in with Ms. Lohman, it was like finding a family, a real family.
Yes, Your Honor.
And they took you in, and you finally felt at home somewhere.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So this relationship now turned to more than a friendship.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you're still in a relationship with this boyfriend at the time. Am I correct, Ms. Lohman?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what was that situation like?
He never found out, and to this day, he still doesn't know.
He does not know to this day that you were also sleeping with Mr. Mitchell.
Right, Your Honor.
Was this just a one-time thing when you all ended up having or did it continue?
It continued.
Were you using protection?
No, Your Honor.
So you have an ex-boyfriend.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who believed that he was the father until they split and she got with Jonathan and disappeared.
So when you found out you were pregnant, your ex believed it was his.
Yes, Your Honor, because at the time I also thought it was his.
Why did you think it was his if you knew you were also having with Mr. Mitchell?
At the time I was with him, so I wanted to make myself believe that it was my ex's.
Oh, okay, so you admittedly just lied to yourself and blocked out the Mr. Mitchell possibility.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Mitchell, do you remember finding out Ms. Lohman was pregnant?
Yes, Your Honor.
When you found that out, what were you thinking?
I didn't know what to think. I I didn't know if it was mine or his.
At that point, were you all dating now, you and Ms. Lohman?
Yes, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. But we were not dating at the time I told him there was a possibility. I was still with my ex at the time.
Okay. And so this ex believed this is my child.
Yes, Your Honor.
You never said anything to Mr. Mitchell.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Mitchell, if when you found out, you immediately thought this could be my child, did you confront Ms. Lohman and say, hey, is this my baby?
Not immediately.
When did you do it?
I waited a couple days and thought it over.
So, Ms. Lohman, how did you finally tell Mr. Mitchell that you thought the baby could potentially be his?
When I was about 6 weeks, I had went to the doctor and confirmed that I was pregnant. And then on my second doctor's appointment, I asked, do you have an estimate of when I conceived? Because I can't tell you the exact date. And she told me I conceived somewhere between October 12th and October 22nd. And I got to looking back at the dates, and I had sex with Mr. Mitchell more times than I had with my ex. I had with Mr. Mitchell about every day and only once or twice with my ex.